So everyone, this is going to be an interesting segment because it's a topic that hits pretty close to home for me. If you've watched my stream for a long time, or if you've just gone back into my backlog or sorted by most popular, then you'll know that my most popular video to this day is one in which I simply tell the tale of my political evolution from the time I was about 15 or 16 years old to that point in time when I was about 21, if I recall correctly. The video's done very well, like nearly 1 million views, and it's continued to have little waves of virality. And I noticed that recently it's hit another bump, like a noticeable bump in viewership, comments, and relevance in the algorithm. And typically, this isn't just because YouTube decided to start pushing that video a lot. Usually it's because a group of people, a large group of people, have simultaneously looked into the topic of the alt-right rabbit hole, and my video was one of the first to come up because it's already, very high view count. And that tells me something. That tells me that we're currently in a stage, another era, that comes every, few years where that video is blowing up along with, I can only presume, other videos in the topic. And sure enough, only a couple days later after I noticed this, I got this video put in my content suggestion section. It's a month old and already has 500,000 views. So you know that there is a pretty large amount of people looking into this, and it seems like, I don't really know the state of the YouTube algorithm right now, so it would seem like there's a point to this. The video is called I Let YouTube Autoplay Until It Turned Me Alt-Right. Now, for those that don't know, back in 2014 to like 2018, I would say, there was this era of YouTube's algorithm overwhelmingly favoring conservative content. A lot of this had to do with the fact that SJW owned compilations, feminist freakouts, and just daily uploaded response videos to the, SJWs were going super viral. They really, really heavily clickbaited with their titles and thumbnails, basically utilizing the pre-existing hatred for the crazy feminists that people had, the caricatures that were created. And so it was very easy if you were, say, just a normal dude that was into gaming back in 2016, it wouldn't take long if you left YouTube autoplay on for something that was borderline Nazi shit to start playing. At the very least, something that was blatantly conservative. And this was a trend for years and years and years, and there was this massive wave of young people getting into YouTube, discovering politics through a number of other types of content, and getting into the anti-woke stuff. And this was back in, the Gamergate days. Now, this all culminated in a variety of events such as the adpocalypses, the mass shooting in New Zealand that was shouted out. The shooter did a shout out to PewDiePie while live streaming it, and a variety of other things, including manifestos from other, cases of mass violence, the Unite the Right rally. All these things kind of all came together to create this big magnifying glass hovering over YouTube. And the discussion was, is YouTube enabling terroristic, genocidal, far-right ideology? The answer is, at the time, yes. But in response to the amount of scrutiny they were getting, they changed up the algorithm. We know they did because, months after these changes, we saw the rise of BreadTube. But on top of that, as sort of like a negative side effect of that, by the time there was a proper study done on the way the algorithm works, the algorithm had changed. If you guys remember, there was this big document that released that showed I believe the cover of it was like a burning YouTube logo. I might be mistaken there, but I think that was the logo. It was this big autopsy and like deep analysis of YouTube's algorithm, trying to figure out whether or not it favored right-wing content. And the findings of this study, which unfortunately the study was done after YouTube already solved this problem in response to the hate, but the findings of the study were, of course, something that might not surprise you and probably don't give much alarm. The findings were that if you joined the website and you had a general interest in conservative politics, the algorithm would give you more of what you wanted, which is more conservative politics. And if you got into it and you were clearly into left-leaning politics, then it would give you more of what you wanted, which is left-leaning politics. And it was like that for years and years and years. I mean, that's what allowed for BreadTube to even exist as we knew it during its peak. You know, like ContraPoints, PhilosophyTube, HBomberGuy, they all blew up because all of a sudden YouTube was not playing favorites with conservative content. However, if you've been paying attention to this website in the last few years, it might feel as though something's definitely changed. It doesn't feel like 2018 YouTube anymore. It feels like something has changed. And apparently it has. This video is claiming to have let YouTube autoplay until it started pushing alt-right content. I assume they went through the proper processes of making sure it's a clean account, no cookies or metadata existing on the browser or anything, ideally a brand new computer and, you know, a new internet line or something, just so it's completely unaffected. But regardless, let's see how this went. Let's see if this is a case to make for the YouTube algorithm now facilitating a new alt-right pipeline. Let's check this out. I've been wanting to watch this since I had it recommended to me, but I put it off for a few streams now, and now we're finally getting to it. So let's check it out. By the way, this YouTuber is Be in a Minute. Be in a Minute, I think is probably how it's pronounced. I'm gonna drop the original link in chat real fast. So yeah, go send some support on the original video. Don't just watch mine. Anyway, let's check this out. I'm very curious to see what case he makes.
With the rise of social media algorithms influencing our thoughts and our beliefs every single day, paired with the United States 2024 presidential election coming up this November, I had a burning question that I wanted to find the answer to. How many videos does it take until YouTube recommends alt-right content? With the brand new YouTube account and only using
The only answer to that question, by the way, is it depends on what you consider alt-right content. Because you might consider like the Critical Drinker an alt-right content creator. And I might even argue that he is, even if the values that he directly like pushes are not alt-right. Like he is part of that content ecosystem intentionally, right? So you might consider him an alt-right content creator if that, like, depending on where your line is, right? So the answer to that question is, what is alt-right by your definition?
Using the autoplay feature, will YouTube eventually start feeding me far-right or alt-right videos? Well, let me tell you, what I found was pretty insane, to say the least.
Okay.
You're the cause of President Trump almost being assassinated.
What?
What? No.
It's been a minute, and welcome to...
Did Hitler fan cam
I
start
originally had the
autoplaying?
idea for this video after watching Ludwig's 1000 video autoplay experiment, where he stopped once he got to his 1000th video to see where the YouTube algorithm led him. Well, I'm going to keep going past 1,000, actually very far past 1,000 as it turns out, and I'm not going to stop until YouTube autoplays an alt-right video.
This is interesting because the idea here is that he is going to, with a fresh account presumably, watch the most politically neutral content he can find and let it autoplay through the most politically neutral recommended content it can find, and then figure out what political side YouTube shells at him first with the YouTube autoplay. And it seems eventually he gets to Hitler videos, apparently. But what I want to point out here is that this is the best case scenario, is that you're somebody who is so disconnected from politics that you get into the internet and YouTube takes thousands of autoplays to get you to like Nazi shit, right? That's the best case scenario. More likely than not, though, you're going to be a young, maybe a little edgy gamer dude who's going to be watching some of the biggest content creators on the platform, who happen to be friendly with some of the largest conservative content creators on the platform, who are all friends with alt-right content creators, so that you've only got a 1 or 2 degrees of separation in like the collaboration relationships between these creators, like some of the biggest mainstream creators and some of the most far-right figures. So there's that aspect. And then there's the aspect of, if you're watching like gaming news content, how long till it gets you to like gaming news grifters? And then how long until that takes you to alt-right content. So to be clear, this is starting at something as far away from politics as possible and seeing how long it takes to get to Nazi stuff from there, not starting at something normal, popular, but tangentially related to right-wing politics, which would get you into far-right shit fast if you're not trying to avoid it. Let's watch.
But before we get into conducting this experiment, we need to go through some ground rules. For the next however so minutes long this video turns out to be, we are all going to pretend that we are an undecided voter.
Yeah,
who
anime
needs no
news
particular
grifters
direction
on the far right.
political compass. Please know that this is a completely fabricated scenario. I don't think there is such a thing as a voter who...
This would be a really good way to do this. How long does it take for a gamer to be made alt-right on YouTube? How long does it take for an anime fan to be made alt-right on YouTube? How long does it take for a literature fan to become alt-right on YouTube? How long does it take for somebody into crafts to get alt-right on... Like, how long, if you just start with, like, a normal, mundane anime review video, auto-playing from there, how long does it take? Like, going through that. Probably less than a week. Yeah, well, you got to consider that, like, people don't autoplay their videos or their YouTube for a week. Right? The idea here is, like, how long, if you don't touch YouTube and just let videos play while you're, like, just playing video games, how long till YouTube starts inadvertently showing you right-wing propaganda that you don't even know to think critically about, right? Because you didn't choose to click on it, it just auto-played.
was devoid of any biases or political leaning, but for the sake of this YouTube video, we're going to pretend that we are. Now, to replicate this undecided voter, I will be creating a brand new Google/YouTube account and turning on incognito mode to ensure that there is no location tracking or cookies enabled. So YouTube has absolutely no data or information on this profile. Thus,
well, they will gather it, I think, off of the instance, but even then, I wouldn't do that part of it because you want YouTube to be collecting the data, because that's how they formulate, like, a pattern for them to continue you down, right? Like, I don't know if it would have the effect of every autoplay being random then, or if it would account for your temp data. I think your temp data exists until you close that window, though. I think the temp data continues to exist until he closes the window.
Creating a blank slate for the YouTube algorithm to mold into its own image. So, what is considered alt-right content? According to research done at the University of California, Davis, right-leaning users' video recommendations are more likely to come from channels that share political extremism, conspiracy theories, and otherwise problematic content. So, a few red flags that we're going to be looking out for that fall into the broader category of alt-right content will be ideas like white nationalism, the Great Replacement Theory, QAnon, Project 2025, and really any extremist conspiracy theory. Now, although I have my own personal biases that I am aware do affect my definition of an alt-right YouTube video, I think that most of us can agree that there is a difference between a piece of content that might lean conservative compared to something that is full-on alt-right. So we're going to start by replicating this undecided voter. But I actually want to take it a step further. Not only is this voter undecided, but they have also never heard of a YouTube video until today. Congratulations, voter. Welcome to the internet.
Oh, I also think it's important to remember that a lot of these right-wing figures, they run ads, like, that are just their videos. Like, the Daily Wire does this the most, where they just run ads on anything, even left-wing content, that are just their videos. And if you click on it, then it goes straight to their video and their channel. So you might not even get recommended the video by YouTube. It might just be an ad that runs and somebody decides to click on it and watch more because they think that the person speaking is smart, right? They hear Ben Shapiro going all... And so what you have to understand is Western civilization is falling, and you see he's got, like, a nice studio and stuff, and maybe you've never heard of this guy, and you're like, oh, he sounds like... Damn, he seems like he knows what he's talking about, and this sounds serious. And so you click and you want to hear more. So that's, like, separate from YouTube's algorithm. That's just YouTube allowing TOS breaking content creators to run ads that break their own TOS.
So that's where we'll start, simply searching on Google, YouTube video. And from there, I will only be clicking on the up next recommended video with autoplay enabled.
Damn, okay, we're going as basic with it as we possibly can.
This is going to take me, but hopefully it's before Election Day on November 5th. All right, let's get into it. Am I kind of scared? Okay, we're going to go to the first video that's recommended when you type in YouTube video, and that is Kacey Musgraves' Cardinal official music video. So I guess what we have to see now is, will Kacey Musgraves lead us to, I don't know, Alex Jones? Okay, obviously, I can't play this for copyright issues. I'm sure it's a great song. Kacey Musgraves.
Saved us both.
Let's see where you take us. Okay, now we have positive energy, chill songs to make you feel good.
Okay, lo-fi type shit. That makes sense.
Since this video is an hour and 21 minutes, we're definitely going to skip to the end and see what plays next. We have another 3-hour long. This one's so much longer than the last one. We're only on the third video. But
YouTube autoplay is freaky as well. I have fallen asleep with the YouTube autoplay on, and I've woken up to everything from Joe Rogan, like falling asleep listening to SCP story narrations or creepypasta narrations, woke up to Joe Rogan. I have fallen asleep to like Minecraft, like informative videos from like Ant Venom before, and woken up to like movies playing. Like YouTube has free movies sometimes that'll just autoplay. That's still an SCP, you know. It's it's related. Like YouTube will take you through some wild rabbit holes on its own that don't even involve politics.
I really hope we don't get stuck in like music YouTube.
We're gonna be there for a while, man.
You naive fool. While the majority of the other videos being recommended in the sidebar were the same old smooth jazz genre.
The fact is, YouTube is probably primarily used for music. Like, I would guess, like, what, 60% or more of YouTube's, like, viewership is just music.
Seemingly out of nowhere, I saw a few that were leaning a little more political than your centrist bossa nova and jazz.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
Look at the sidebar.
Look, over here we have recommended Elon Musk on Trump shooting incident, and
that is not real. So this is another example of how evident it is that Elon Musk and Trump are sort of representatives of the dumbest, lowest common denominator. That is a hacked YouTube channel. That is probably not the official Tesla channel. Almost certainly not. Considering the fact that anytime a YouTube channel gets hacked these days, it gets transformed into an Elon Musk Tesla fan channel and starts running pro-Trump Elon Musk Tesla dick riding shit while like trying to get people to click on links that are going to like get them scammed, right? Like this is just a thing that happens to YouTube channels when hackers get them to help so they can scam the fan base of the YouTuber they hacked. Because the Elon Musk fanboys who would click on that they're filtering for really dumb people. Scammers always do this. They filter for dumb people initially. They want like the smart cookies to not even think about like getting into step one of the scam. And so they aim for Elon fans and Trump supporters. Scammers know who the dumb, easy to scam, gullible people are, and it's the people who would click on this.
Election something. So it's definitely political. After the smooth jazz and bossa nova, we moved more into a chill, lo-fi beats to study to kind of area, a classic if you ask me, which led us to our first loop that I got stuck in. Now the term loop is what I will be referring to anytime YouTube autoplays at least 5 consecutive videos within the same topic. This will start to make more sense as we keep going on. It definitely puts into perspective how much content is not only on the internet, but just on this platform. You think this is a lot of content? Buddy, you're like 2% into this thing. Speaking of 2%, that's the same amount of you that are currently subscribed to this.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? The idea of doing this. Maybe we should do this one day, like as a stream idea. It could be interesting. It kind of reminds me of like delving into like a cave or like a mine, and the idea that things are going to get more weird and just are going to get different the further and deeper into the mine or the cave that we go. You know what I mean? Like, it's got a very cool feeling to it. Also, damn, this motherfucker is getting the love from YouTube. 97% of viewers are not subscribed. This is a good thing, by the way. When YouTubers complain about, like, only blank percent of you are subscribed, that's good. That means YouTube is heavily pushing their content to new audience. So it's not really so much of a complaint as, like, them using it as an excuse to remind you to subscribe.
Channel. If you're enjoying this video so far, consider subscribing. Let's see if we can bump up that 2%. Thank you so much.
What is Project 2025?
Okay.
It is the Republican Party's plan to give
Now
Trump
we're just at the
complete
weekend.
control of the government and
Lo-fi
destroy our
remixes.
democracy.
I'll take it. That's something new. Once I started to hear the sweet angelic voice of The Weeknd mixed with the lo-fi, I started to feel like we were finally getting somewhere. I feel like we're getting somewhere. Okay, we still have a long way to go, so we're gonna have to start speed running some of these loops. So from the lo-fi hip-hop loop, we started to fall into the medieval epic music loop. God, this music is epic. But then The epic music started to get a little dark and scary. Where monsters reign, warmth of the abyss. This doesn't feel good. On the 157th video, we got our first YouTube short. Is this a shorts? Are we at shorts now? From the epic and dark and scary music loop,
oh, it's gonna be brain rot for a while.
From famous media, including Furiosa. Ooh, this is good. Top Gear. Reversed. The video games Bayonetta and Astral Chain. I don't even know what this is. Astral Chain? Yeah, if you couldn't tell by the tone of my voice,
it's like
I started to get a little...
At a certain point, it's like YouTube is taking wild guesses, and every time he watches one of these to the end and lets it autoplay, YouTube thinks he likes that. So there's a certain aspect of, like, unrealism here, where normally if something autoplays you have zero interest in, you're clicking off and finding something else to watch and breaking the autoplay chain. So it's like, this isn't a perfect experiment, but it's still a neat one, you know? Like, the idea that we could end up at Nazi shit shows that the algorithm is fundamentally fucked, you know?
A little impatient here. It's already been an hour, and I feel like we haven't really gotten anywhere. How did Casey Musgraves take us to this?
I hope it just out of nowhere autoplays, like, the Hitler speech. Like, it goes from, like, some anime music video to the Hitler speech instantly. Like, there's no build-up, there's no, like, slow transition to politics. It just happens out of nowhere. That would be crazy.
But before we move into the most excruciating loop that I got stuck in, let's go back to Top Gear for a second, because I noticed something pretty interesting. What's crazy is... in my recommended videos from Demolition Ranch, we have the Trump shooter was wearing my shirt, which could lead us somewhere if we got that recommended, but I wouldn't call Demolition Ranch alt-right. It's a direction to go in, though. We had 90s cartoon theme songs that then led us into children's music.
Fishy, fishy, fishy here, fishy, fishy, fishy.
Then that, unfortunately, led us into what quickly became my own personal ninth circle of hell.
Oh, yeah.
We sing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going there to
He's in hell.
I
love that YouTube is playing this, and eventually it's going to take this user, who it has shown this content, is going to take this user to Nazi shit, apparently. That's crazy.
If you don't know, or maybe just don't remember, We Sing is a songbook series for children. I actually remember having one of these CDs and begging my mom to pop it into the 2006 Chrysler Town & Country for long road trips. God, do I miss the days of beautiful automobiles. Anyway, their first album was released in 1977, and then they went on to release 40 more albums, all the way up until 2012. And little did I know, I was about to listen to
them all.
Song from all 41
shit.
albums. This is the most political video that we've had so far. I hope you're having fun, because I'm having a great time.
At least you don't have to listen to it all. You can just skip through.
30-second We Sing song, something absolutely bonkers happened. What?
I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland.
Is this it?
Is that the Dixie marching song? Is that the Southern marching song? Oh my god, that's bizarre. No, it's a show tune? Okay. Yes, Zan? Okay, I'm getting a mix. No, that is not the remix, the parody that's way down south in the land of traders, rattlesnakes and alligators. That's not it. This is that is a parody of this, which is the actual, I think, the actual Confederate marching song. It is Dixie. I don't know, guys. But maybe he knows, okay? Maybe he knows. Shame on me for not knowing my American history.
Arguably, the song is extremely far right. I definitely want to see where it takes us after this, but this could potentially be
It is very Southern Pride vibes.
It is kind of crazy that the song is getting recommended.
Nah, this can't count. This can't count. Okay, like, I don't think you can count this, all right? I don't think you can count this. It's definitely a little weird, but, like, I don't know if we can count this. And then the video goes on, so I'm glad he doesn't.
To someone who is just watching what's up next on YouTube, especially with the fact that it thinks that I'm a child.
It does.
So,
Okay, chat's saying they think this does count. Okay, so apparently for some people, they already consider this to be, oh, YouTube's made you alt-right. But let's see how much further it goes. Let's see how deep down the rabbit hole we can go.
Down south in Dixie.
wow. Well, there it was. The answer to my burning question. How many videos does it take until YouTube recommends alt-right content? 487. Adopted as the de facto national anthem of the Confederacy during the American Civil War, I didn't see how a recommended video could get worse than Dixie. Oh, and also these songs.
Me and my part can pick a real cotton. Me and my part can pick a real day.
So guys, when I talk about how America has some weird stuff, when it comes to young American education, apparently these are pretty popular. And it's the kind of shit you might have playing on the radio in class, especially if you live in the American South. Yeah, going crazy.
Oh, Lordy, pick a real cotton. So bad. Cotton needs a picking. So bad, I'm gonna pick all over this field. Gonna cotton down.
So, we're done, right? I mean, the Confederacy was pretty alt-right. Well then, why hasn't the video ended?
Some of his colleagues stunned, dumbfounded, flummoxed
What?
even with this
Did it just immediately play news? It's not going to take long once you've gotten to news content to get to Nazi shit.
take on VP
What is
nominee
this?
J.D. Vance.
Oh. So, to be honest, after 677 children's music videos, I knew I had to course correct this experiment. I truly believe that we were going to be stuck in the baby music loop for all of eternity.
Oh,
and,
did he
I
break
don't think that would have been a
the
very
rules?
fun video. Also, if I had to hear one more baby song, I was going to drive a Chrysler Town & Country off of a bridge.
Mabel.
But before you say this is true, I still made sure that the algorithm decided what video we should watch next. And this is what I actually saw when I clicked back to the YouTube homepage after watching 1,108 videos. I just went back to the homepage of YouTube, and
Joe Rogan's going to
this
be
is
there,
what my
right?
homepage looks like. We have some We Sing Bible
okay.
Songs compilation for an hour long. Sounds awesome, but probably not going to click on that. Relaxing music to relieve stress
Bible
from anxiety and
songs.
depression. I'm feeling both right now. Probably not going to click on that, though. It's 12 hours long. And then we have Go to Hell, MSNBC host roasted for comment on Trump. Fox News.
Remember, Fox News, 1.1 million views in 5 hours. It's because Fox News is by far the biggest news outlet on YouTube. Because as I say over and over again, right-wing outlets get more clicks by magnitudes above even equivalent left-wing outlets because they clickbait, and their entire audience is motivated by anger and fear. Like a mixture of those two things. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that the average Fox News video gets like 1.1 million views in 5 hours. Yeah, it would be on the front page. That's insanely
I could not
viral.
believe that after watching strictly music YouTube, with most of it being children's songs for well over 1,000 videos, my YouTube...
I think a certain amount of this is just the right gets more views on YouTube. So if the algorithm is working as you expect it to an extent, you expect the right to be more prominent and to be more likely to autoplay, right? But then at the same time, leftists get like 30K views on average. Yeah, and I'm below that average, Greyhounds. So yeah, it's like you got to consider the fact that even if the algorithm's working without a bias that is politically motivated, it's just working as it's intended to. It's promoting what is doing well, and what's doing well is Fox News, Alex Jones, Nazi shit, right? Like, that's what does well online.
YouTube browse page recommended a Fox News video about an MSNBC host getting roasted. I'd say things are heating up. I feel like I need to follow this rabbit hole a little bit. So here we go. After the Fox News video, we went straight into the first 2024 presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
Now,
Okay.
please welcome the
Weird,
46th
but-
president.
All right.
I guess
Now
the
we're
debate with
heavily
Kamala
in
hadn't happened yet with this video.
politics. Although we started
filmed.
at Fox News, which does lean to the right, I was happy to see that we were now in a fairly bipartisan place due to the
now.
debate coverage. From here, there are only really two paths that we can go down, left or right. We are the undecided voter, lost in the dark, and YouTube is our light. So let's see where we go.
The Fox 5 Surprise Squad.
Oh, straight into the Las Vegas Fox 5 Surprise Squad. Fox 5 Surprise Squad?
Fox 5 Surprise Squad.
Oh, what's that?
The Fox 5 Surprise Squad.
After 116 videos of the
Fox 5 Surprise Squad.
we started to get some shorts covering the Republican National Convention. Interesting.
Resounding yes. The Biden-Harris foreign policy. The patch on the right ear.
This has 10 views. The RNC happened to be going on the
Hey,
same week I was
okay.
conducting this experiment.
I can't justify that by saying it's just doing well and YouTube is like promoting what's got views, because that was just a nothing video that it just autoplayed for no reason. It's interesting though. He just watched a bunch of music stuff, eventually got like one or two like maybe you could consider conservative videos, and then he went to his homepage, YouTube, and the first 4 results on the homepage gives him Fox News. He starts on that. Let's see where that ends up getting him.
So it made sense that the YouTube algorithm was recommending content surrounding this event, as it was current news at the time, along with the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, happening literally just a few days prior. I began to realize that we were going to get a lot of coverage of these two events. We're not moving more to the right side. Again, it's just covering
I imagine
the
it would
news
bounce
and
around for a little
things
while
that are
on this
getting
topic,
a lot of
right?
clicks on YouTube right now, which is obviously a former president being shot in the ear. So I don't really want to assume that this is going to push us more in a alt-right direction. I think we're probably going to actually stay more within the news. And my hypothesis was correct, because after the Donald Trump assassination attempt coverage, we have Democrats calling for Biden to drop out,
Whether or not Biden should stay on the ticket for the November election.
Senator Bob Menendez and his controversy.
On all counts, that the verdict.
Oh, and also Costco is raising its membership prices. What is this Costco stuff going on? So I guess we weren't heading down the alt-right path
It's
yet.
Biden's
But
fault.
then we go back to the RNC, then back to Trump, and then obviously, you know what comes next. 27 straight videos of, yeah, that's right, say it with me, Windsor Castle Guards. How many videos of these royal guards are there? After leaving
Royal
the
guard
British
throwing
side
up.
of YouTube, which is arguably worse than the alt-right side.
That would be my worst, like, what happens if you get, like, nauseous? I guess you just gotta throw up and keep going about your work, right? Just fucking, like, oh, I had gas station sushi on the way to work. Now I gotta guard the queen.
YouTube. We then go back to the Trump shooting,
We continue to cover the attempted assassination of former President Trump. Today, you're looking at
and then to videos about US presidents. But then we're led to a very impactful video. This one.
the first pitch. Please welcome the
this is-
43rd President of the United States of America, George W. Bush.
He looks so,
drive.
like, melted.
Top 3 banned pitches in MLB.
Oh, he's in
And number
sports
5 is
now. No, you're here forever now. You've just entered a different kind of hell. You've entered sports. Although sports might eventually get you to Nazi shit. Sports might get you to conservative politics. All it has to do is start playing UFC and like boxing shit, and you're basically there. Like you're one autoplay away from like Andrew Tate if it gets you to UFC and boxing.
We don't need to go down the sports rabbit hole.
Or weightlifting.
Please.
If it goes to
I hope it
weightlifting,
doesn't do this.
he'll be on the precipice. For now, it's in baseball, though.
No. Yep. We're on sports YouTube now. It's
gonna baseball him for a while.
Not just sports. Strictly just video game sports.
Oh.
One clip of George W. Bush throwing a ball, and then it's like, you know what? Let's show him a bunch of
And these
MLB.
videos have like 1 to 2 views as well. It's so weird. In a way, I'm kind of glad YouTube's recommending smaller content now. If it seems to be like, even if it has like 1 view, it'll recommend videos to you if it seems like you might find it interesting. But like, and you know, that's good. I like that a lot. But what is this? This is so weird.
video game clips from channels with 5 subscribers. This has 1 view. Now, for a while,
They've had 1 view for a while.
Loop. Getting stuck in a Madden and MLB game clips purgatory for the rest of time. But then a new video came up fast, out of nowhere, hitting me like a school bus. And that's why I love YouTube. Ooh.
Find out that everyone hates me? I don't care. Regina, please. Regina, stop.
Wait, don't get us copyrighted. Don't get us copyrighted.
There we go. Yeah, let's just watch it again.
Mean Girls clips?
Okay.
Oh.
Now we're just gonna be on.
Okay, so is he getting into Mean Girls fan cam zone, or is he now entering the YouTube or the YouTube movie clip shorts area of YouTube?
On the Mean Girls.
What? What are we in now?
What are these? Great question.
What?
I'm glad you asked. This is called Bungo Stray Dogs, or BSD, and it's a manga series. But these videos are showing the character models from BSD that are also in a video game series called Gacha, which includes titles like Gacha Club, Gacha Life, and Gacha World. I am very unfamiliar
Isn't that a word
with
for, like,
everything that I just
scam
talked about,
games?
so if anyone has more information on BSD Gacha, feel free to explain how I have no idea what I'm talking
Maybe
about.
Gacha
in the
means
comments.
something else.
Is this all the same audio? What is this?
What? Guys, if he's in the anime zone, we're not far from the far right, okay? We're not far off from conservative shit. If we're although this character has a trans pin, a trans flag pin, it seems. So we're in like Tumblrite YouTube right now, but like it's anime, so it won't take long to get you into Nazi shit. I think he's gonna go from anime to Nazi shit. I think that's gonna be the line. I think anime will be what does it. It's YouTube will think it's anime. I promise you, DSW Shadow Wolf.
Anyway, there was 43 videos in this loop.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
What? From there, we got 22 Darman shorts. Darman. Then back to the Trump shooting.
What?
It's weird that we didn't get stuck in a Darman loop and instead went back to the Trump shooting. Oh, just you wait. And then some videos about if Biden is going to drop out or not.
YouTube
I think
on.
through recording this video for the next few days, we could see the end of Biden's campaign with him dropping out. Good call. And then we started to get recommended videos.
Yeah, even he's just been doing this video and seeing all the news coverage saying Biden should drop out, and he's like, guys, I'm not gonna lie, we've watched like 800 news videos of left-leaning pundits saying Biden should drop out. I think Biden's gonna end up dropping out. Ah, good guess.
Videos from different U.S. House representatives. Now, I was really curious to see which way these representatives leaned politically and if we were getting more Republicans or Democrats being recommended here. But we're going to get to that later because we just got 76 more Darman videos to watch.
In Barbie High.
And then we go back to the beating heart of this entire video so far. Mean Girls. Oh, here we go.
Again.
Just keep going back to Mean Girls for some reason.
Oh my God.
Which was then naturally followed by Walking Dead fun facts.
Yeah!
Dad's most impactful dads. Daryl Dixon's favorite people. Glenn Ree's favorite people. What if Rick never shaved
What
his
is this clickbait shit? What is this? We couldn't show Clash PR or something, a good Walking Dead shorts creator? What the fuck?
beard? In this
Now, this next sequence of loops needs to be followed very, very carefully, or things are going to get really confusing. I promise you, you will have no idea how we got to what we did without these exact videos autoplaying in this
There's no way The Walking Dead gets this motherfucker to Nazi shit. What?
exact order. This was purely by chance. Okay, you ready? So we go from The Walking Dead to Robot Chicken.
Robot
Walking
Chicken
Dead,
bits of The Walking
to Robot
Dead.
Chicken.
Okay.
That then leads to Tim and Eric.
Okay.
Which was also on Adult Swim, so I get the connection there. But then we go from Tim and Eric to Josh Groban.
There's a right way to rock and a wrong
Who
way
is
to
this?
roll.
I don't know who this is. I was almost expecting, if it was gonna go Nazi, I was expecting the Adult Swim connection would show a clip from like $1 Million Extreme, which was Sam Hyde's TV show on Adult Swim. That might have been a connection that could have been made there. I was almost expecting that.
And then from Josh Groban singing the national anthem, we go to Celine Dion singing O Canada in 1992.
I've never heard the
Then
whole
we go to the
Canadian
national anthem of Canada from what I think
Not
is
even
the
once.
2008 Beijing Olympics. And then that leads us to the Russian national anthem.
You know what's crazy? I've never met a Canadian that could sing the whole Canadian national anthem or like say it. Because I think it's because Canada's nowhere near as patriotic. They don't like force you to like repeat it every day in school like they do here. You can. Okay, because I've yet to meet a Canadian that could. They're always like, how the fuck would I know the whole national anthem? It's like, you don't? I can in French and English. Okay, the Dark Canuck. Okay. We sing it in school every day? Really? Balth didn't know it. Balth knew as much as I did. Oh, Canada, da, maple tree. I think it goes like that.
2004 Athens Olympics. And then that creates a new loop. A loop that I like to call Fun Time Connie Military Music loop.
Okay. Does this count as far left?
Music of Communist China. Okay, definitely not alt-right. So
I don't think this is so much meant to be left as this is meant to be like you're in marching music YouTube.
This point that I could possibly be from the alt-right side of YouTube. This undecided voter was starting to feel the great pool of Carl and Mark, or whatever his name was. I haven't read the book yet. But then, out of the blue, or should I say red, things turned from leftist to rightist.
Now YouTube thinks you're an
To
extremist.
something that could be somewhat alt-right. It rhymes with
YouTube definitely thinks he's a Walking Dead fan now.
Snadolf Hitler. Okay.
Oh.
Austria-Hungary were definitely the aggressors of World War I who lost, and them losing World War.
Well, so to be clear here, we're still just in like, I think, historical anthem YouTube. Like, I think this is for like history buffs, but let's see where it gets them.
One, along with the Treaty of Versailles, kind of gave rise to Hitler and fascism. So this is not alt-right content necessarily, but I feel like we're kind of getting somewhere right now. We'll see.
Okay.
And then, to reinforce my theory of going down this right-leaning path, we get a video about neo-Nazis.
Und Verantwortung. Das ist unsere, ist die bessere Welt.
And then, right after that,
That's a good connection, YouTube.
Oh boy, is this getting good. I knew for sure we were heading down a more conservative-focused path, because after more Trump and RNC videos, we got a vintage Reagan campaign ad.
Oh.
All right. Getting a Ronald Reagan ad.
Today.
Followed by an
Dude,
H.W. Bush campaign ad.
You know what YouTube is doing to this guy in real time? Where's that one meme? Hold on. Where's that one meme? Yes! Yes! Oh my god, you found it. It's called, today I'm 16 and I want to be political. Thank you. Thank you, Augusta Nora. Hold on, Augusta Nora, can I like... I wish I could give you something for that, but you're based for this. Yes! Okay, I found it. It's not lost media. The algorithm is doing this to him right now. It's really good. I think it goes on. Yeah, it goes further. It's a good video. It's a really good video. I like that a lot. Thank you for finding it. Thank you. I was worried it was lost media. I could not remember the title for the life of me, dude. I could not remember that title.
George H.W. Bush. And then 432 Obama ads.
What?
At this point, I had no idea what direction the YouTube algorithm was trying to take me. Just moments ago, I saw a real possible path towards alt-right content, with the majority of videos leaning conservative, but maybe I was just naive to think that it would take us any further than that. Have we learned anything about the algorithm? Are there patterns or signs that could point towards harmful corners of the internet, or is it just completely random? As an undecided voter, I still don't know which way I should lean. Turns out, watching 2 hours of Obama campaign ads from not only 2008 but also 2012 leads to a lot of self-reflection. But while reaching the summit of my self-doubt, the algorithm spoke once again, pulling me and yet another direction I was not prepared for.
Not
And I'm
lie, no,
asking
no, no,
for
not lie
evidence.
about. You don't get to ask any more questions. I'm done with you because you're the cause. You're
One
the
more
cause.
thing.
Of
Oh.
our country. No, no, no.
Partial
You're the cause of
pedophiles.
our
Do you have
country
any
being
response to
divided.
that?
You're the cause of our country being divided. You're the cause of President Trump almost being assassinated. You're the cause of everything wrong
where's
in
the evidence
America.
of those
No, no,
claims?
you're done.
Dude, somebody just like give her a little like bar of Aaron's mom. She's clearly not herself right now. She's hungry. Like she's clearly not had any of Aaron's mom in a while. She's starving. Clearly, it's made her moody.
Done. You're done. Yeah, go back.
Thank you.
After the surprise introduction of arguably the most alt-right politician in the US, the algorithm must have thought that I was really interested in learning more about the ongoings of Congress. Because from Marjorie Taylor Greene, we were introduced to a new channel called Forbes Breaking News, where they cover all the Senate and House hearings. Starting with my very own senator.
You're deep in politics
who
now.
actually represents my state, John Neely Kennedy.
Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead.
Call a crackhead.
Nothing like being from the South. Now, I think because Marjorie Taylor Greene led us into this loop, the YouTube autoplay was feeding me these hearings, but only clips or highlights of them from when conservative politicians were speaking. Politicians like Josh Hawley.
Propaganda involved in the origins of COVID-19 is astounding to me. It recalls the worst of the wartime propaganda in years past when the government...
This is one of those like slick, fast-talking grifter conservatives. Yeah, you know the type. Ben Shapiro's one of those like fast talker grifters, the type that like breakneck bullshits you and sounds smart. He's one. I can tell this guy's one of them.
would deliberately lie to people. And here, that's what they have been doing with COVID-19 and are still doing it.
Charlie Kirk, yeah.
Cruz.
You said this individual was, quote, I wrote it down.
And Ted Cruz is the exact opposite of that archetype. The opposite in every way. When you think of what did Zan mean by that archetype, everything opposite of Ted Cruz.
Sober and entirely a female. That phrase struck me as remarkable. Did this individual have male genitalia?
It was happening again. We were going down the right-leaning path. What confirmed this algorithmic direction was the first conservative ad I got right here.
Hi, I'm JT, and I made Result Hunter, the search engine for conservatives. Let me just tell you what it does. First of all, big tech right now is running.
Okay, here we go.
To be fair, I'm surprised he hasn't gotten a conservative ad before this, because like I said before, conservatives run ads for just their videos, like just random Daily Wire videos will come up as ads on YouTube.
Oh, and I also got this ad.
Every Medicare recipient over 65 years old needs to see this. The government just gave me thousands of dollars.
Well, being 99% confident, the YouTube algorithm thought I was an 80-year-old conservative, which is actually...
Which is fucking crazy when you consider that he, for a while there, was listening to lo-fi and, like, 14-year-old girl, like, gotcha, whatever it was, you know? Like, it's really bizarre that YouTube's now seem to have ballparked him here, you know? YouTube's algorithm also tries to account for multiple people using the same account, by the way. There's an aspect of that that's working behind the scenes here, where YouTube recognizes that the same account might be used by multiple users, like on a family TV or something, and will base the recommendations off of what was just watched and what was just searched and create profiles recognizing, like, okay, I'm pretty sure the guy watching, like, Warhammer lore videos is not the same person watching Cocomelon videos in the same account, right? And they'll figure out that, like, they'll know when to tune the account's recommendations based on who they think is using it. The algorithm is that sophisticated, by the way. It is.
The largest demographic of registered Republican voters, I got some more news on the Trump shooting, the RNC, a lot more Congress hearings, and then right after that, the Oversight Committee of Democrats YouTube channel? What? Okay, well,
just bounce them
I
around.
guess the algorithm, just course correcting, you know, maybe trying to spice things up with a little bit of sprinkle of Democrats in there. Is it trying to feed me both sides? Both sides of the aisle?
The crisis on...
Well, I don't really know what it was, because after 61 videos from the Democrat Oversight Committee, something weird happened.
That we are...
What? Did the autoplay
heck?
break? That happens sometimes, where autoplay just breaks. You gotta refresh the page.
What happened?
Refresh the page. The solution here is he has to refresh the page.
Huh?
Autoplay might be off for this video, too.
When you
Okay,
enter
he's
the
refreshed
Supreme
it.
Court, you pass under the hallowed words.
Does that work? Huh. Autoplay looks disabled for that video.
Where did it go? I've watched every single one of these.
Back to the homepage.
Does it not have anything to give me?
Let's
I've
see what's
watched all of
recommended
these.
on the homepage.
Did I just finish YouTube? There was nothing
So-
else for autoplay to recommend.
What he did wrong was he stopped autoplaying on the first go. I just realized something. The way he fucked himself here is actually kind of weird. When you click on a YouTube recommended video on your homepage, every one of those videos, whether you realize it or not, actually represents a playlist. And I have clicked on videos recommended, let the autoplay go because it just kept playing good videos, and then it stopped autoplaying and I couldn't get it to go any further. I've had this before. If you click on a video on your home page, the autoplay will eventually run out because YouTube has curated a list of autoplays that would already have been preordained before you even clicked on that result, right? And I think he's gotten the end of that list, and that's why it's all showing videos like that on the side, because he's locked into that preordained playlist, and the only way to reset your results is to go back to the homepage. Or to search something like YouTube video, and then click on the top result, and then go back to autoplaying. You could also go back to that same effect. But him going back to the homepage meant because he originally just searched YouTube video, clicked a YouTube video, and started autoplaying. It would have autoplayed forever that way. But if you do it by clicking on a recommended video on your home page, it will not autoplay forever. It has a set amount of videos that have been curated by YouTube for you. These were all pre-curated and were decided to autoplay before he even clicked on that Fox News result. That's how he got here. He clicked on that one Fox News result. Now he's watched 1 million political videos. I'm betting if he goes back to the homepage, his homepage is going to be so much politics. And if he clicks on anything political there, it's going to be more politics.
I knew there were obviously more videos on the platform to be watched, but for whatever reason, the almighty algorithm decided that I was done. I thought about continuing the experiment and trying a second time, but this felt like a sign. And after watching this many videos, I had enough data to try to make sense of which way the algorithm tended to lean. But before we get into that, you're probably wondering why I'm holding this journal. Well, I used this journal to keep a tally of every single video I watched over the course of this entire experiment. That way, at the end, I would know how many videos I watched. So, how many was it? Okay, well, throughout the 3 days of watching YouTube videos,
How many?
with only the autoplay feature recommending the next video, besides the WeSync debacle, I watched 3,013 YouTube videos.
It's a
Now
good
let's
amount.
break down those 3,013 videos and go through the top 10 loops and how many videos played in each. Okay, starting off in 10th place, we have the Bayonetta soundtrack with 77 videos.
I feel like we've seen the majority of what I wanted to see from this, but I've got some thoughts I want to give. I don't think the algorithm played anything blatantly alt-right. I'm actually quite impressed. The problem is this experiment is kind of dumb to start with. If we're trying to prove the tendency for YouTube to push people into echo chambers. The fact is, YouTube is currently programmed to do two things when it comes to the algorithm. It is programmed to give you more of what you want, to keep you on the platform and keep you watching. And it is also programmed to recommend you content that is done really well broadly, because it's also likely to keep you watching and maybe even open you up to new areas of content that you might watch, because YouTube loves the idea of you as a viewer getting lost down a rabbit hole. There's a reason why you'll be watching just some random stuff and then out of nowhere something very different from anything you've watched before will get recommended, because YouTube thinks you might like it. And if you click it and you get into that new rabbit hole of content, that might be hours more videos and ads you're watching on their website. So it is programmed fundamentally to try and keep you satiated with what will make you happy. Now, if you're a YouTube viewer, you're probably a younger, tech literate person. And if you're like anything like me, you are getting into gaming content. You might be getting into fitness content or sports. If you're incessantly watching that content, YouTube is going to quickly decide where you stand, and it's going to start generating recommendations that are likely to appease you. And unfortunately, right now, we're seeing a massive trend of young men being pushed into right-wing red pill content and right-wing gaming content that's centered around, like, complaining about minorities in games and positing conspiracy theories about it. That content probably wouldn't autoplay if you just started with music videos, but if you're anyone interested in gaming, it's not going to take long for those videos to end up in your recommended or your autoplay, right? If you're into movie reviews, how long until the Critical Drinker shows up if you're into music or movies, right? Starting completely blank is not the best way to handle this type of experiment if the goal is to prove how YouTube radicalizes. Because then on the other end of things, if you're someone who's more progressive, like let's say you're into makeup or Taylor Swift, YouTube's probably way more likely to recommend you left-leaning political content, and once you start watching that, it's going to continue down the rabbit hole of left-wing content. And you're probably not going to get recommended much conservative stuff, but you might. I know you guys in chat complain a lot about getting recommended conservative stuff, despite never watching it ever. So to an extent, YouTube will consider you political if you even watch anything remotely political, and at that point, YouTube will just recommend you popular conservative content, and more often than not, or popular political content, and more often than not, that's going to end up being conservative due to the clickbait and the higher viewership and successful nature of conservative content online, right? I get Chud content looking for video essays on games I like recommended. Yeah. He showed up on the first search while I was looking for a review on a Resident Evil movie. Yeah, like, to be clear, there's so many other factors to consider here that just... I don't know if this study, quote-unquote, does a good job of getting the point across. I got a fucking Daily Wire ad on Roblox, of all things. That's crazy. Yeah. I watch mostly geology, and YouTube is always shoving me towards alt-science, mud floods, and catastrophism. It's not just politics. Yeah, like, if you watch geology stuff, I imagine you get a lot of, like, hidden city, ancient civilization that didn't exist type stuff. Yeah, that's a whole other sector of conspiracy stuff online. The medical misinfo stuff, yeah. I think it's just echo chambers. Like, YouTube is promoting echo chambers more than ever, left and right, but the big difference is that you're more likely to get caught in the echo chamber of the right because right-wing content is just so much more volatile online. It's such virality bait, right? It's being made solely for the purpose of getting views and making money. There is no other motive there of, like, you know, educating people, improving the world, or anything like that. It's all about improving their bottom line. I remember for the longest time I used to get a PragerU ad on every video without fail. Yeah, YouTube would not let you escape that shit for a long time. I don't think it's as bad as it was during Gamergate by any means, but I definitely believe the YouTube algorithm has changed since that report came out. I mean, hell, how did Andrew Tate arise through the YouTube Shorts algorithm if something hadn't changed? Anyway, I think that's really all I have to say about this. I think this is a pretty good video overall. The experiment wasn't perfect, but I do think it was overall a pretty good video, and I recommend you check out the YouTuber who made this, named Ben a Minute. Pretty good video. Seems like a good channel. I've definitely subscribed myself. He's criminally underrated. 11.8 thousand subs. That is not a lot of subs for how good of a video this is, so I highly recommend you go sub, comment, like, all the good stuff. Make sure you engage with the channel. And with that said, you know, maybe you could do the same for me. If you enjoyed this video, maybe consider dropping a like. No matter when, where, or what you're watching from me, it really does help a lot. It actually forces YouTube to recommend my content in the algorithm to more people, so maybe they watch me instead of some crazy alt-right weirdo. You can also, maybe, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, follow my social medias linked down below, subscribe and ring the bell icon, comment down below as well, and don't forget to join my fan Discord if you want to be a part of my main hub of my fan base. It is completely free to join. I host game events, watch parties, and call-in streams there, and on top of that, I announce all my new uploads and streams there as well, so you won't end up not noticing if I go live or upload, even if YouTube doesn't tell you. And if you want to directly support me, help me keep a roof above my head and the lights on and all that good stuff, consider supporting me directly financially by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or Patreon, or buying merch, the Streamlabs link down below. But regardless of how you support me, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.